Rajeshi, you are on mute.
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir. Yes, sir. On purpose, sir. It was me. Just we were waiting it, sir, not to give a disturbance to other voice others who is joining.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, sir, and good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Pranay ji.
Sanjay, good afternoon. Nice to see you.
Good afternoon, sir. Nice to see you too, sir.
Good afternoon,
Yeah,
Meet, sir. Rajesh this side, sir.
Namaste everyone, this is Kirti here from NASCOM.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon,
So
ma'am.
gracious of you to accept our invite.
No, thank you so much for inviting me.
Very good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, Nani, sir.
Good afternoon, Rajaji.
It's nice to be able to be speaking at a company that you only read about in your textbooks. You studied things like SAIL.
That's true. I mean, we really embody that there's a little bit of sale in everybody's life.
Yeah.
And that's something that we are really proud of.
Good afternoon. Navneet sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Otanuji.
Sir, we'll just wait a couple of minutes. DP sir joins. We'll then start. Sir.
दादा बहुत सीरियस लग रहा है
हाँ अरुण बॉस बोल
लग रहा है क्या बात है
Good afternoon, sir.
गुड आफ्टरनून
रोल चेंज है भिलाई आ गए हैं भाई
मालूम है
दादा भिलाई आ गए हैं
रावघाट लिखा हुआ है वो क्लियर पता लग रहा है आप रावघाट आ गए DP Saab is just joining us and we'll get started.
Sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, are we going to start it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Shall we
yes.
start? Okay. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I extend a warm welcome to each one of you on yet another enlightening session of the Antardrishti. I am Senior Manager HRD Rajesh Kumar, and I am delighted to be the host for today's session. As we all know, Antardrishti is a journey of knowledge and insights. And again, today's milestone again promises to be another stepping stone on this journey. With these interactions of the Antardrishti titled, we aim to trigger the fresh perspective and also to encourage the further exploration by the individuals in the journey of excellence and ultimately charting the organizational success. So without further ado, let's begin our session. As we all know, today is the 7th session of this Antardrishti series. And today's session is titled Future Skills Prime, FSP and the Digital Skilling Initiatives. So today we have two speakers. We are fortunate enough and blessed to have two speakers today. Ms. Kirti Seth, ma'am. Ma'am is CEO SSC NASCOM. Ma'am, welcome.
Thank you.
If I may brief to the house about ma'am. Kirti ma'am has very rich experience in entrepreneurship, management and driving change. Ma'am has completed a BA in economics from DU and MBA from IIM Calcutta. Presently, she's a CEO of IT and ITES Sector Skills Council, NASCOM. SSP NASCOM has the honor of building and implementing Future Skills Prime, which is the India's technology skilling hub, along with the partnership with the Government of India, Ministry of IT. In her last role, before she transitioned to the corporate sector, from the corporate sector, she was the CEO of NIIT Genpact, a joint venture with NIIT Uniqua. She was also an advisor to the Fortune 500 companies like Bank of America, Shell, Rio Tinto, and MetLife as a part of NIIT's global consulting and advisory practice. Ma'am, welcome. We also with us Shri Navneet Samiyar. Sir is Head Future Skills Prime. Sir, welcome, sir.
Thank
Navneet
you,
sir
thank
is CXO and business builder with more than 30 years of experience across the various industries, including all the most global MNCs, India blue chip companies, and sir has got experience in organizations like Tata Steel, IBM, GE, apart from also the various entrepreneurship ventures. Sir has demonstrated the success in setting up, scaling up, and transforming business. And he is a strong believer in the role of technology, big data, AI, ML for the business transformation and scalability. But before we listen to our speakers, please allow me to welcome Shri KK Singh, sir, Director Personal Sale. Sir, again, welcome, sir. For gracing us with his insightful opening remarks, sir. Sir has, with his vast experience and leadership, has been continuously guiding us in various new initiatives and exploring the new avenues. Sir, in today's audience, we have the CGMs and EDs from the various units of sale and also the training engineers, since we are driving Future Skills Prime as an initiative across the organization, sir, as guided. And unfortunately, since ED's HRD, sir, Ashish sir, is busy in safety Senate meeting, so sir has excuse because he's attending that meeting. Sir, may I now request you to guide us with your welcome address, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh. And good afternoon, everybody, especially to the
Good afternoon.
speakers, Madam Kirti and Navneet ji, and all my colleagues who are joining from various plants and units. And I think it all started with a message or a call from Kirti Seth Madam that let's begin this. And I'm so happy that it has traveled so much, and this has become the mainstay for training our people to Industry 4.0. And if you see today, this year we have planned that we are also going to have a consultant, and we are trying to unlock a value of around 1,500 crores in our EBITDA through digitalization. That's our aim. And in fact, that's one of the condition for the consultant, that he will get majority of his payment if he unlocks 1,000 crores value. And we have kept a target of 1,500 crores. And what we were thinking, unless all our people are aware about it, unless they're excited about it, and we get them along, we get their consent in this, support in this, involvement in this, it will not be possible. Because all the projects, it is easy to install a project, but these projects have to be run. Then only we will realize the value. Year after year, we are going to realize the value. So this one has come very handy to us, and I must compliment our MTI team that they are scaling it, and they are using all kind of techniques to I must compliment this Future Skill Prime, that such a good thing you have, it's there. You have come out with such a good thing through which we can train our people. And sometimes what happens is today we have all the knowledge available. Everything is available on the net. And but it has become very difficult because of that. That people think that it is available anytime I will get it, anytime I'll go there and I will learn it. And something which is anytime, it doesn't happen. And unless you go through it, practice it, in fact, unless you internalize it, it is difficult to apply it. So unless people go through it, they cannot apply it. Because of that, we want that most of our people, and in fact, we are aiming that very fast, we are able to train everybody to all these, and many courses are available. It is up to them how much they are able to pick up and what is to their interest. So first they must register, then they should go through certain courses, and then once we are able to put our consultant in place, then area where they require to get acquainted, that they should go find it out and go through these courses. In fact, because of this in digitalization and digital platforms available, knowledge availability has become very easy. But at the same time, now in HR fraternity, we are finding it difficult sorry, how to bring people, how to make them interested in this, how to have a watch on this, how to guide them. Those things are becoming difficult, and we are adopting different kind of techniques. Like we also have e-Pathshala, and there I think Futurist Skill Prime paid courses are there in our e-Pathshala. It is there. Then this year we are going to take 3,000 licenses from LinkedIn, so that everybody can learn at its own pace and the interest. So that also, but it becomes difficult even for e-Pathshala. Initiating everybody to the learning becomes difficult, and one has to use a lot of techniques and ways so that people are able to do. And you will be happy to know that from next year we are coming out with a very innovative way of bringing people to learning. We are calling it a scheme which is WOW, that is working away from your workplace. We are going to give people a day leave for learning, for contributing, for suggesting, for teaching. So that also a lot of involvement will be required. I am inviting HR people, and fortunately all my executive directors, chief general managers, they are also there. Many a time we think that this is the job of HR to train people, and then only it fails. This is the job of line managers, and HR is only facilitator. This has to be taken, then only we can unlock the value. We are only telling that 1,500 crores value can be unlocked per year from digital. Scope is enormous. And once it goes down to the people, and people understand that these things are possible to do digitally, they can suggest so many things. Today, my workers are coming and going with certain kind of jobs which are assigned to them. We are not using their brain to contribute to betterment of productivity, our job, ways of working, reducing the rejection. Enormous potential is there. The other thing where we are aiming is decarbonization. So in fact, in the management jargon, we are putting effort on the 3 Ds. One is digitalization, then decarbonization, and then is democratization of decision making. So we want to decentralize the decision making. Everybody takes decision. So 3 Ds we are aiming. So for decarbonization also, in fact, the best way, we are very energy intensive and hard to abate sector. But there are many areas where a lot of energy can be saved. Many areas are there, because huge amount of energy goes into steel making, and a small suggestion by people using technology can help us save a lot of energy, because we have also promised to go carbon neutral. Our country itself has promised to go carbon neutral by 2070, and we also have our targets set for 2030, 47, and going ahead. So in there, if we get the contribution of all our 47,000 people thinking about it, and then technology providing them enabler, that yes, this can be done. It is possible to save energy through application of these digital tools. So that also is our aim. So in that, the biggest thing which is going to help us is making people aware, making people go to the site and taking these courses and understanding. And I once again, in fact, request all our chief general managers, executive directors, start asking people. You should go through certain courses, ask them, discuss with them, tell them that this is, you must be aware about this, then only it is going to happen. So not taking much time, because you have got two eminent speakers who will be enlightening us on these subjects. I wish you all the best for this year, the target which we have taken in Future Skill Prime. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And thank you for setting the tone for the insightful session, sir. Now let's delve into the matter and for the further discussion. So stage is yours, Navneet sir and Kirti ma'am, please. Ma'am, please.
Okay, thank you. KK Singh sir ji, thank you so much. I think the fantastic setup to the session. And my only request is that now, please, I mean, you are a public sector enterprise and a Maharatna, so you always wear the India hat. But now, from Future Skills, I request you that wearing the India hat, please give us a repeat what you said in a little video for us. We would love for other people to hear your your point of view, because it's very real. You are heading such a huge, you're managing such a huge portfolio in this company, and all of India. I mean, we can for SAIL and for all these kind of companies, all those Atmanirbhar Bharat, Viksit Bharat, sab aapke liye apply hota hai. And what we are talking about today is really our journey towards that direction of being, Viksit Bharat by 2047. I really like this Viksit Bharat term, because it helps me set up pretty much every talk that I do. And it's very, it's real. I mean, if we don't do it, we'll really miss out. So please, I would request you, if you could record some of what you said today for us, we would love to share it with other people. We'll be very grateful. I did have a presentation which I thought I would use. I think it just, makes things a little bit easier to maybe understand. So we are NASSCOM. I think that all of you know. The NASSCOM is the Industry Association for Technology Companies. So kafi kuch what I talk about will be about the tech industry. But tech industry's place in the economy, in India's economy, and in our journey to Viksit Bharat has now become very important. Because all this technology that we are talking about, this is the industry that works on it, but you are the industry that tells us what to do. So all the applications that we develop come from user industries like yourselves. So if you go in that direction to say, this is the kind of solutions we want to develop, that is the kind of stuff that we end up doing. So some bit of what I'm saying will be from the point of view of the technology industry, but I think it's important to say that if this industry was not there in our country today, I don't think we would be having the kind of conversations that we are having. So our mission at Future Skills Prime, and as you know, this is the National Technology Skilling Platform. And when MeitY decided to fund the creation of this platform, the vision we had was building India as a digital talent hub for the world. And I put another tagline to it, Generation India, the India Advantage. I'm sure all of you have heard the term Gen AI and generative AI. And AI to aajkal to har ek conversation mein koi sentence nahi hota without the use of AI. So humne kaha ki now we have become the Generation AI. So when we say, why does technology matter? Why is the tech industry important to India? It's a large part of GDP, 7.5% of the GDP, a huge part of exports. 35% of India's exports come through this industry. It's a $245 billion industry. We have about 1,600 global capability centers, which is companies that have decided to set up in India, global companies that have set up in India. And that is really important. It's very symbolic that somebody has come from their country, invested in our country, hired our people, and that gives us a direct pipeline to the world. Ki in globe mein kya ho raha hai? Because the customers who are working, the customers of these companies are asking for solutions, and we in India are building those solutions. So India as a talent hub for the world is absolutely imperative. If you have any conversation to any visitor who comes to India or any company that is thinking of setting up in India, the number one reason they come to India is because of our talent pool. So today, when we are talking to people in SAIL, when you are leading the people function in SAIL, it's really important to know that India's wealth and India's future is dependent on our people. So what you said, sir, at the beginning, I cannot underscore it, I cannot emphasize it enough to say what you said was so crucial. Now, if I look at what's really happening, I think, and you said you've hired a consultant to generate 1,500 crores of savings by using technology. This is a global statistic that we are saying that not only will we be short of 85 million workers who have the right skills by 2030, but if we don't have this or we don't plug this gap, we will lose on an opportunity of $8.5 trillion. And you start multiplying that by 84, and then you realize there are many zeros that get added to that number. It's a very, very big number of the opportunity loss if we do not train our people or do not upskill our people in the right skills. And why is India such a sweet spot? This is it's a very visual map in terms of where is the surplus talent in the world today. If you look, there is only one little green spot, and that is India. We are the country where not only do we have the population, but we have a growing population, and we have a massive education system that is feeding this talent supply. Now, the key is what is the quality of the output of this system. I think हम सब बात करते हैं कि education system में, things are not as good as they should be. The output could be better. Yes, all those things can happen. But irrespective of that, we have 2 million people graduating every year in STEM courses. And I think आपके यहाँ भी in your company, you would be hiring graduates, you'd be hiring people from ITIs, you'd be hiring technology-backed people, some in the whole engineering field, or some kind of manufacturing-related work. Now, if we look at this 2 million, even if 25 or 30% of them are right skilled, that is so many more people than the rest of the world is generating. So this, we have a surplus of, we can build a surplus of skilled workers because we have the raw material. So that's really the essence of why this has become such an important program, Future Skills Prime. The whole thinking behind Future Skills Prime is just this. And when you zoom out a little bit and say, how is, say, the government looking at it, or say, how does the Prime Minister look at it? Aap notice kijega in the speeches that he gives, he wants people from India to go to other countries. Why? Because he sees the value of the diaspora. If we see how many Indians have gone abroad, they've gone to work, some of them have come back, but now see the number of leaders, Indian leaders across the world, and the kind of companies that they are driving. And then what is the benefit that India gets out of it? This is a soft power that we don't measure, but it is huge that when you know that you're talking to an Indian at the other end, the relationships and bridges that it builds for us to be a global leader, global economic leader, this is crucial. So it starts from that, from a very soft approach but a very shrewd approach to say, if we can skill our talent and spread it all over the world, Indians will rule the roost. We are already ruling the roost quite a lot. We will rule it even more. So why tech? And what's going to happen? So while we're talking surplus and I'm talking tech industry, pretty much every industry is now going to be a technology industry. And I've just given you some examples of the kind of applications of technology. And you think, each one of you who is on this call, please think in terms of how technology is impacting your daily life. Don't even think about your work. Work pe to will come later. But think about your own life today, where technology is, where you probably don't even realize that technology and AI is sitting behind pretty much everything you do. आप मूवी देखते हैं नेटफ्लिक्स पे, प्राइम वीडियो पे देखते हैं, आप अमेजोन पे शॉपिंग करते हैं. हाउ डू यू थिंक you get to see, oh, this is exactly what I wanted. How does Amazon know? How does Netflix know what I want to learn? When you go, suddenly you're scrolling your news feed on your mobile and suddenly ads for suitcases is coming up, or ads for going to Himachal are coming up, because that's what you were talking about. Now, people say that mobile phone is listening to you and all that. I don't think mobile phone is listening to you, but your searches, what you're doing on Google search, what you're scrolling on Instagram, what you're doing on Facebook, वो सब information आके suddenly artificial intelligence basically knows everything that is going on in your life. So what is the implication of that? जब आप shopping करते हैं तो वो beautiful photographs, वो 3D modeling, वो shopping algorithms, all this thing is technology. So it's nothing to do with the tech industry. Now, this is the e-commerce industry that is getting impacted. Your shopping habits are getting impacted. Your fridge today is can tell you, I don't know how many have that intelligent fridge. I didn't buy it. It was very expensive. But there is an intelligent fridge that can tell you कि आज दूध खत्म हो गया, आज अंडे खत्म हो गए. मतलब it can tell you that. This is, but there's IoT behind that. There is AI behind that. There are lots of sensors sitting over there. There's edge computing. Now, these are the topics that you need to learn if you have to even think of these kind of solutions, that I can build a fridge like this, or I can build a TV like that. I was watching a video today of a doctor. He was saying how medical diagnostics are changing. He was saying in Israel, in hotel rooms, they have put a mirror. So when you go and brush your teeth, that mirror a sensor comes, and in 30 seconds, it scans your face, and it can give you your blood pressure, it can give you your oxygenation, it can give you your heart rate. It can do that just by 30 seconds of looking at your face. It is embedded in the mirror in a hotel room. Blood pressure is the highest killer in the world. And so now they've put it as part of the mirror in your bathroom. So that's how technology is embedding our lives. In the steel industry, I have to confess, I use AI to help me with this slide. I went to ChatGPT and I said, please tell me how digitalization and Industry 4.0 are going to help the steel industry. And I was very happy when Mr. Singh in his opening address talked about reducing defects and quality control. He talked about maintenance. He talked about decarbonization. He talked about energy efficiency. And fortunately, I have all those things on my list of applications. So ChatGPT did a good job of telling me what to do. Now, this is also upskilling in a way. Using AI tools to tell you things you didn't know. So I spent half an hour and I got this. I had another slide, which I don't know if you noticed, this one. I hope my slide has changed on this why tech matters. It's giving the GDP and all. So I said, I'm giving these numbers for the tech industry. What is the answer for the steel industry? What is the contribution of the steel industry in GDP? What is the contribution of the steel industry in exports? How many people are employed in the steel industry? I tried to look for that number. I went to ChatGPT and I asked this question. It refused to give me the answer. It says, you please go to Government of India databases and find out. I said, this is very bad. I'm going for a sale presentation. I should know this. So I went to Bing. I don't know if you've heard of Bing. Bing is the Microsoft search engine. And fortunately or unfortunately, today Bing has won. Because when I asked Bing as to what is the contribution of the steel industry, it said it is about 2%. Now I'm talking to a whole bunch of people in the steel industry. You can tell me whether Bing was right or wrong, whether that artificial intelligence is actually intelligent or it's completely making a fool of us. It said that the total exports of steel are about $2.8 to $3 billion a year, and about 1.5 million people are employed in the steel industry directly and 2.5 indirectly in the steel industry. So now you can tell me whether Bing is in the right ballpark or not. But I thought it sounded a little reasonable, these figures, but I don't have a way of validating that. But again, it was very easy for me. I was able to use AI to come up with something that I really needed for a session. So I thought it would be interesting for me to tell you about this. You could test my knowledge and you could test Bing's knowledge as well. So this is really what I was talking about, that we have a gaping mismatch in talent. We have, 8 million people graduate every year. 2 million of those are in STEM courses. For the tech industry, we say about 800,000, in computer science, IT and maths. For other streams, the numbers may be a little different, but the number of people who are employable is quite low. So this is really the gap that we need to plug as a country, to say that if I have 2.1 million people coming out, why do I think only 280,000 are suitable to be employed? Supposing I doubled that, I don't have to do anything to my ecosystem. 2 million to nikal hi rahe hain. Agar they become just a little bit better, this 280,000 can become 560,000. And this can actually help me get surplus talent that I can then either supply to the rest of the world, or tell the world that I have enough talent, please come and set up your businesses here. And when we talk of a Viksit Bharat, and when we talk of a Make in India, and when we talk of Atmanirbhar Bharat, this is what we need to do. We need to make sure that each and every person coming out of our education system is able to work in the current environment and with the current skills that are required. We do this study, and I just thought I'll share it just to tell you ki how are we thinking from the tech industry point of view. Lekin this analysis can actually be done for the country as a whole, to say what is our digital talent gap by technology. AI and big data is a different kind of skill set. You need a different background to do something like AI. Cybersecurity, again, needs a different kind of background. Maybe you don't need to be an engineering person to do cybersecurity. Web and mobile and application development, everybody needs somebody who's either building a website, creating an app. आजकल तो हर एक चीज के लिए ऐप होता है. तो अब आपके लिए, I'm sure आपकी कंपनी में भी एक ऐप होगा that employees use for themselves. आपके यहाँ भी एक learning app bhi hoga on whatever platform that you're using. So there is an app for everything. So zahir hai, the largest gap in supply and demand is for web and application development in terms of numbers. In terms of percentages, clearly AI and big data is very high. This is where the entire focus is currently. Jo bhi conversation hoti hai talent ke bare mein, it is sitting over here. But when I do this conversation, I think you can't do AI and big data without all the rest of the technologies. अगर आप IoT की बात कर रहे हैं, तो cloud computing तो आएगा उसमें, big data analysis तो आएगा, cyber security you have to know your networks, your connections, your everything has to be secure. You cannot, and today cyber threats are rampant everywhere. So security is absolutely crucial. आप जो भी application build कीजिए. So as a country, what are we doing? Maybe you read the news about 10 days ago कि the cabinet has approved 10,000 crores for the national AI mission. And so it was क्या पढ़ाएं और किसको पढ़ाएं? If we have to make India ready for the future, AI ready, तो क्या होना चाहिए? So we were actually participating in this committee and we suggested this construct. We said कि कुछ लोग तो होंगे, which we say are all. And that will be the vast majority of people who must know कि AI क्या होता है. They must also know how to use AI tools. So like I said, if you know how to use Bing and if you know how to use ChatGPT, you already learned 80% of what you need to know on AI, because just by asking the right question, आप जो भी करना चाहते हैं, that can help you do it. हमारी favorite line है, AI will not take your job, but someone who knows AI will. Just by learning your ChatGPT, learning to write some prompts, learning to use things like Bing, you will suddenly find that your productivity, your knowledge, your ability has completely skyrocketed. We give you on Future Skills Prime, that's why we do the Digital 101, that's why we do the Gen AI pathways, quickly, short learning bites we give you so that suddenly you can do a lot more things that you couldn't do earlier. So we said 1 billion people in India need to be aware of AI. I mean, we will be a true digital AI-enabled democracy. 20 million people should learn how to use AI for higher productivity, and that is where you fall in. Your people will fall in. Some will fall in the all category, some will fall in the many category, because they will be building solutions for how to use AI to have for better productivity, better outcomes. Now, they may not become techies, and I think this is something I really want to emphasize on. You don't have to be writing code. You need to be thinking technology. कि मैं technology के साथ क्या कर सकता हूँ, क्या कर सकती हूँ? How does my imagination change by knowing what all AI can do, what all technology can do? So if I am thinking about decarbonization, how can I use, even if I'm talking to a consultant, asking the right questions of the consultant is your role as a responsible manager. Trying to see what the right output could be, what are the possibilities that could be, is your role as a manager. Like in my case, as a manager, I run the Future Skills Prime platform. Or I feel that my chatbot currently on the platform could be better. But I did not actually spend the time and energy to figure out how can I make it better. Then I went to some exhibitions and some technology conferences, and I got demos of some new chatbots. Suddenly, I saw the possibilities. I went and I looked up the internet, and now I know that I can actually get a GenAI-based chatbot, which can talk in some 10 languages to my learner. Imagine the possibilities. Now, I will not make the chatbot, but at least I know that it is possible. So I think that's what is crucial for people in your positions to know the art of the possible and then ask the right questions. For that, you need to understand the basics. ये technology है क्या करता है, basic understanding के चलती कैसे. Then the people who are working on it, of course, will go up from digital fluency. They'll go to foundation level, to deep skilling, jo bhi, whatever is the application. And then, of course, there'll be a few people. They'll be from the IITs, there'll be PhDs, there'll be patent filers, जो अपने वर्ल्ड क्लास सॉफ्टवेयर बनाएंगे, अपने लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल्स बनाएंगे, फाउंडेशन मॉडल्स बनाएंगे. They will be the architects of things that we do. But most importantly, which we must not lose sight of, just as the computer does more and more of your work, your ability to work with the computer and work with human beings becomes very important. तो ये जो सॉफ्ट स्किल्स हम जिनको कहते हैं, जो हम अब सॉफ्ट स्किल नहीं कहते हैं, प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स कहते हैं, because now your ability to talk to people is more important than your ability to do something. वो तो chat GPT बना देगा. The chat GPT will write your code. The chat GPT will make your table. The chat GPT will do your regression analysis. वो सब हो जाएगा. But how you think, how you do problem solving, how you collaborate, how you talk, these things become very, very important now in this age. So coming to Future Skills Prime, I just, it's easy to say we built a platform, but I thought I must talk about the thinking behind this platform. This is really to make India the digital talent hub. So all that we are doing, we realized first year we thought we have to do all the work. And we realized with us doing all the work, we will fail miserably. India is a very big country. We are only an industry association. Why will people listen to us? So last year, sometime end of last year, we realized we have to completely do an ecosystem approach, a partnership approach. We have to go to people and say, look, this is available. We can help you expand it in your ecosystem, but you have to expand it because we are 50 people in our team. Hum kya kar lenge? And this thinking has completely changed the way we are working. So we are working with state skill missions on different programs. We are working on Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana ho gayi. Colleges ke saath, how we are embedding in the national education policy ke saath courses embed kar rahe hain. With companies like we just got a call from the Mumbai Port Authority saying, I want to do a GenAI course for my people. He wants to train 1,000 people. So we don't do the training, but we connected them with the training partner. Ki लीजिए आप बात कर लीजिए इनको हमारे पास है training partners. You please discuss with them. If you like what they have, please use them. So we are now becoming a little bit of a resource and an enabler we will help join the dots. Supposing like some companies say, I want to engage with some 15 colleges. We say we have a relationship with those colleges. We can help you take your courses, but you have to then offer these kids something, internship, some employability, and then NASSCOM will come and work with you. We work on policy. Policy is very important. Nothing in India at scale can happen without policy intervention or working with the government. ये हमको बिल्कुल साफ पता समझ आ गया है that if we want to really create large scale impact, we have to work with the government, and policies, enabling policies become very important. Luckily, we are working with some very, very good people in Ministry of IT, Ministry of Skills, and the skills regulator, so many people in policy making bodies, where we are able to share our point of view, and a lot of it gets listened to, which is very nice. So this is, some snapshot of, we have about 17 lakh learners on the platform. We work with about 2,000 colleges. We work with right now about 150 companies, and Navneet will talk more in detail of how we are working with companies. But in terms of the main building blocks, it is that we have to talk in terms of the policies, in terms of programs, partnerships, and sponsorship, because sometimes you need money, especially for students in the vast part of India. उनके पास पैसे नहीं होते to be able to pay 10, 15, 20,000 rupees for the program. Can we get some CSR money to support? Can we get a government scheme that will help? So this is some of the things that we do. Navneet, will you take up this journey, or should I?
I was hoping more to talk about what we are doing with the public sector undertakings and Steel Authority. So maybe in the flow, it'll be nice if you can just take them through this.
Right. Okay.
And,
So,
yeah.
so the thinking was that when we started about 3 years ago, we said nobody even knows what these technologies are. And the fact is, if you're not curious about something, why will you learn it? So, किसी को चखा दीजिए, you know how that digital fluency is like get someone to taste something. It's like kurkure ki aapne ek kurkure khaya, aap ruk nahi sakte. You have to then have more and more and more. So we're hoping that digital fluency is like that. एक बार आपने देखा that what IoT can do, what AI can do, what big data can do, you get so excited. Oh, ye bhi hota hai, ye bhi hota hai. And then you start learning more and more. So we said that should be the journey. Get people to see what it can do. Then they will get excited. They learn a little bit more. Then some people who want to go deeper, they can go into foundation programs, keep basics of the technology, basics of how to building blocks of the technology. And those who will actually build solutions will build some expertise and deep skilling courses. Everything on Future Skills Prime, we want to get to certification, because that is the proof of the pudding. कि हाँ मैंने किया, मैंने पढ़ाई की, मतलब हमने 10th class, 12th class, graduation exam जिंदगी भर दी है. And that was what? Why do people ask you for 12th class marks? Or why do this, say what marks did you get? It's to say कि हाँ, you studied and you know what it is. So that is why we do recommend that people should do courses and do certification. Not many people do it, especially in companies, many people don't do it. But that's okay. I think that's fine. As long as they've done the learning, completed the learning, I think we should be happy. But agar certification le, it's nice to have a little credential, which is approved by Government of India with a nice little NASSCOM and SAIL and all that logo on it. It looks good. It feels nice. You can put it on your desk. For some targeted beneficiaries, is also a incentive scheme you can get half your program fee reimbursed if it is a paid program. And so end result is that either you are more ready for Industry 4.0 if you are working in a company, or you are ready to get a better job or better possibilities of getting employed. So that's the journey of Future Skills Prime. It started in 2020, and we decided कि हम program बनाएंगे नहीं, क्योंकि NASSCOM कौन होता है program बनाने के लिए? What do we know? We are an industry association, but let's go to the experts and let's ask them to come and put their programs on the platform. So it's an aggregator platform. We have about 100 training partners who put about 500-600 courses on the platform. And about 700 to 1,000 learners have actually enrolled on learning programs. We are actually very proud of this number, because remember, ये कोई general learning platform नहीं है. This is a platform only for emerging technologies. So 700,000 people learning emerging technologies, I think is a pretty good number. Of course, ambitions are much higher. Next year, our targets are very high, and Navneet has lost all his hair because he's thinking about next year's targets. But uh, uh, but but I think we can do it. I think we can, because there is hunger. I mean, I heard Mr. Singh talk, and when people like you are thinking like this, there'll be so many others who are also thinking like this. So I think we are at a good inflection point, and we will see a better, even bigger outcome next year. So I'll stop sharing here, and if you want Q&A now or later, I will leave it to you, Rajesh, to guide us.
Yeah, ma'am, we can take it later, ma'am. Meanwhile, the participant can post the questions at the chat box. So, Navneet sir, you want to continue?
Yeah. So thanks, Kirti. And, Kirti has set the macro context, so I'm not going to talk too much about, the platform itself. I'm sure all of you know everything about it. So I'll try and focus more on what we are doing right now and what is it that I think we should be doing as we go forward. And even before I, go ahead, KK Singh sir, you mentioned that it all started with a phone call from Kirti to you, and then there was a phone call from you to Sanjay, and trust me, it has never been any faster than this. So within 24 hours, I had a WhatsApp message from Sanjay, and within no time, within about a week's time, I was there in Ranchi. Ranchi has a special place for me because I've grown up in that city. So within 24 hours, I was there. And the whole excitement, Rajesh, Sanjay ji, Taposh ji was there. The whole excitement, the entire energy that I could feel there, it was very, very energizing for us as a team. And we committed ourselves to supporting Steel Authority in whatever way we could. So I'll start with the good news first. So, as Kirti mentioned, we've got close to about 100 corporate relationships. We have pretty much all the Navratnas signed up to consume content on Future Skill Prime. And the good news is that Steel Authority, although the number is not very big, but Steel Authority is about 2,500 signups already, which is the highest among all Navratnas. So, for a moment, Sanjay, you should feel proud about, what we've done in the short span. So that's the good news. And since the CGMs and the executive directors are here, and like Singh sir said, at the end of the day, HR can only facilitate. हम संजय जी के साथ काम कर सकते हैं. We are open and we are committed to working with each of the Steel Authority locations. As we speak, one of my team members, I think, is in Bokaro, talking to some people there. But after that, the focus has to be driven by the operating teams, the executive directors, the CGMs. So the bad news is that, while we have, and I'm sorry, I'm using, very contrasting words, but in the interest of time, I want to get the message out. So 2,300, 2,500, signups, which is fantastic as a start. However, just a 1% conversion. So the completion is only 25, which means adoption is a huge issue. And I really want to urge all of the operating teams. We are more than happy to come to your site. We are happy to get onto Zoom calls. Whatever you expect us to do, we'll be more than happy to do that. But we have to drive adoption. And like Kirti mentioned, and then Singh sir mentioned, it is all very easy for us to know. But जब पता होता है कि ये available है, तो फिर हम करते नहीं है कि कभी कर लेंगे. वो नहीं हो सकता. And especially, like Kirti said, digital fluency is extremely important. And I'll tell you where, and I was so glad to know that there's a consultant coming who's going to be working with you to look at, bottom line addition of 1,500 crores. Just to give you some statistic, although Kirti has given all the stats, but just one simple stat. So in the 5 trillion-dollar economy that the Honorable Prime Minister is talking about $1 trillion is going to come from the IT industry. And when I say IT industry, I'm not talking about core IT alone. And that's where the nub of the issue is. So about $350 billion will come from core IT, about $150 billion will come from IT hardware, and $500 billion, $500 billion, the nation is expected to get from companies like Steel Authority's digitization initiatives. The productivity and the 1,500 crores that you are talking about, the productivity and the drive that the non-IT industry will achieve by using future skill technologies is what will help the nation reach $5 trillion. And in that, all of us on this call have a very significant role to play. So the first point I wanted to make is wanted to urge all the operating teams, all the different plants, different units. I saw some collieries as well, which is again close to my heart. I'm a mining engineer. So please adopt it. Nobody, किसी के लिए भी ये अछूता नहीं है. There's nobody who can find themselves divorced from these technologies. To start with Digital 101, I think as a concerted effort, let's promise to ourselves that we will drive adoption across the entire organization. And when I say adoption, I'm talking about even completion. So that's number one. Number two is, what do we do after having done Digital 101? And that's a very important phase because, कब पढ़ लिया फिर क्या होगा? So I'll just give you one very simple example. Kirti mentioned that once you know the technology, your mind will start working in the direction of solutions using those technologies. So for example, you're talking about energy efficiencies. There are multiple usages, multiple things that you can do with energy usage. We as Future Skill Prime conducted a program called project-based learning for students of Anna University. We created cohorts of 4 students. These 4 students would get a live project and they would work on that project using a technology after having gone through the learning. Each one of those teams came up with some absolutely stunning projects which had an impact on their immediate society. So from simple things like security in their buildings to and this is very close to my heart. One of the teams actually worked on using IoT for tackling the sewage issue in Chennai city. How did they think of this? Because they heard that this is what IoT can do, and therefore they started thinking about how we can create a solution. They created a pilot on that with controls and everything else. Now imagine 30,000, 40,000 people across Steel Authority trained on basic at least of emerging technologies, and you create a cohort of 4, 8, 10, 12 people, and they start thinking of something that they can do in their work area, which can impact and create productivity. The kind of revolution that we can bring in the organization will be mind-blowing. I'm talking beyond my pay grade, but I want to make sure that I make these suggestions so that it becomes applicable, especially because we have operating teams here. The other very important thing is culture building. So that's the third point which I wanted to make. The new recruits, I know that, we cannot embed this in courses of people who are joining the company. But once people have joined the company, the graduate trainees, all of us, most of us here would have started our careers as graduate trainees. The graduate trainees have to go through the learning path that Kirti showed. And I think irrespective of whether they are going into systems, whether they are going into the mining area, in the plants, in marketing, in whichever stream of work they are going into, a basic fundamental foundational knowledge of emerging technologies should be there with each of the graduate trainees. And then they become your culture ambassadors across the organization, for driving more and more of these cohort-based applications that I was talking about, where, one graduate trainee can run with, these days, the other very interesting thing is reverse mentoring. So a lot of youngsters have become mentors for senior people. So, they can start reverse mentoring where graduate trainees start holding solution programs with a cohort of people in the organization. So my humble submission to all the operating managers, operating leaders on this call is, please go back and please ensure that this is consumed. People have signed up, more and more people should sign up, and more than signing up, more and more people should start working on consuming the content and start driving completion. At least in my sense, in my limited knowledge of how we can impact the overall organization, I think Digital 101 should be near compulsory. Everybody should embrace Digital 101 because that would make a huge difference. So that's at the micro level how we can work within the organization. The other thing that Kirti mentioned in terms of the learning paths, let's identify within the organization some people who are going to be solution architects who are not in the all bucket, but in the 200 million bucket. And that group, again, we can create customized learning paths for them, where you can actually start attaching some kind of a output to their learning paths. So, you become, here is a group which is my energy efficiency group. And these people will be doing these 2-3 technologies, and they will drive energy efficiencies across the organization. And similarly, so on and so forth, various other things. So that's another area we can approach. And finally, I want to reiterate that, as NASSCOM Future Skill, while we have a very small team and we have limitations, but given the commitment we have jointly to the nation, we are always available to take that extra step, work with you. If there is any change management required, if there is any support required in terms of understanding the platform, driving the platform, we are always available. Anjana, Sudhir, and the entire team will be there to support you as you go along. But let's commit to ourselves that we'll do this national duty more than a personal duty of upskilling ourselves, and at least do Digital 101. Digital 101 is like a basic language. जैसे हम अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं, हिंदी बोलते हैं, कम से कम Digital 101 तो जानना ही चाहिए. इतना बेसिक तो किसी के लिए भी in a working environment is very important. So with this, again, Sanjay ji, thank you so much for pulling this together. And as usual, you have all our support whenever needed. We'll be there to drive this initiative in the organization. And Singh sir, thank you very much for your guidance and for kicking this off. So you are the one who actually started this revolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Navneet sir. So we are now open for the Q&A. It's very good opportunity to directly ask the team NASSCOM about any doubts and get ourselves cleared, especially at the juncture when we are running this as a major initiative in our organization. Well, we'll wait a minute to anyone can post in the chat box.
The house is open for anybody to share their perspectives or point of view. In fact, which they want to bounce any ideas.
Good evening, sir. Gaurav this side from SAIL ISP. Good evening, everyone. Yeah. So just one query, like after completing this Digital 101, okay. So one thing is like people are opening up for new modules available on the platform, but at the same time, the requirement is coming that if something, obviously the application of technology or industry 4.0 in steel industry has already been highlighted using ChatGPT by Kirti ma'am, right? So if those kind of interventions can it be designed for our people in the steel industry as a upcoming module, right? After completing this basic module, people are aware like that how can we get more access to these technology related module, which is more aligned towards our industry. Because right now I understand that it's a generic kind of module to give them exposure about the technology, but can the next step be focused in that direction?
Kirti, you want to answer that? Actually, let me first share with you, Gaurav, what we discussed when we started with Sanjay ji and the team. We discussed when we started this whole initiative, is that let's first create that there are different building blocks. So building block number one is let's create the awareness level of digital 101 at least across the organization at some scale. Once we have done that, then we as NASSCOM and as Future Skill will know only this much about, we won't go beyond ChatGPT. तो जितना हमें बताना था उतना हमने बता दिया आपको, इससे ज्यादा हम नहीं बता पाएंगे. तो यहाँ पे फिर we will have to create groups within Steel Authority, and that's an ask. So I told Sanjay ji that step one, we will support you in terms of driving digital fluency in your organization. Step two, you have to support us in creating steel industry relevant content, which can then become applicable to the entire industry. So as pioneers in the steel industry, you become the drivers of technology in the industry as a next step. But I think we have to, my personal belief, Gaurav, is that we have to go step by step. सबसे पहले ये foundational layer create कर लें, उसके बाद फिर together we will have to create content, which we must. So it's a great question. We have to do it. It's only the timing which is kind of a question mark. Kirti, you want to add anything?
There's another thing we could do. Just listening to Gaurav saying that supposing you were to, bunch of people from SAIL could tell us that these are the kind of things that we would be interested in. We can get our content team to curate some learning content, which is linked to your industry, because then we know what to look for. अभी हम क्योंकि हमारे पास तो subject matter knowledge नहीं है, but if you can guide us, say, look, get us material on something like this, we can try this out to curate something specially for SAIL on this industry, which could be global, and we won't create it, but we'll find videos and we'll find documents and blogs and stuff like that, which people can view, which in my belief is that use cases is what is most important. कि अगर हमको use cases के बारे में पता चले that which technology is used how in which situation, that in itself is very useful. तो अगर आप हमको कुछ direction दे दें, we can actually attempt to create some pathways which are around your industry. And once we share that with you, then you'll again come back and say, "Nee, but can you add this also? Can you do something like this?" We'll use it as an experiment to say how do we end up customizing for a particular organization. हमारे लिए भी learning हो जाएगी. So we are very happy to work with you on this.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir and ma'am, for answering. Just one ending comment. If we have already shared earlier that if all the content can be hosted on a kind of not YouTube platform, because YouTube is blocked in our plant in multiple our intranet. And another thing is if some vernacular content maybe kind of in Hindi and other languages that can be gradually with time to onboard our non-executive employees, right? So that there should not be any language related barrier. So I think that will really add to increase the numbers. Yeah.
So the content we have right now will not be available in vernacular, because that we are finding that's not available, because all our content is curated content. We don't really invest in content development, but we have got a project in which we are creating some content in the various national languages, especially Hindi mein to hai. We can probably see how we can share that with you. And if we can, and there's some basic digital literacy kind of programs, which I think would be most useful. You may find that actually a good thing. So, Navneet, what we did for the digital literacy level 1 and 2. That
Yeah, I was there. I was
Could be,
thinking
it
about
could
the
be
same.
interesting options for
The
what-
Vishwakarma content, that Pradhan Mantri Vishwakarma content that we created, that could be very useful at the non-executive level in Steel Authority. That's
Yeah.
an action I'll take. We will, between me and Anjana, we'll share that with you, Sanjay ji. It'll be very useful in terms of basic literacy for the workers.
Yeah.
One more suggestion, ma'am, and sir, in the chat box was that safety intervention module maybe can be included. I mean, that inclusion of technology, how can we improve the safety aspects? Learn a pathway on that.
So when you all give us some suggestions on these are the kind of topics we'll be interested in, आप उसमें डाल दीजिए. So we get some, 5-6 things that could be of interest to you. We'll work on it and see what we can build. If it's good, very good, we'll have learned a new thing of how to do it. If it's not good, you'll give us some feedback. We'll make it better.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Marino from Durgapur Steel Plant. Yes, this safety intervention was raised by me. Actually, right now, safety consultancy is going on. So we want to explore the safety part, like what are the, safe working at workplace and all this. Through this scheme, if we can do, so it will be a very nice thing. And right now I'm doing Digital 101. So it's very good learning. It's very good platform. And one more thing, sir, अभी number बढ़ाने का सब चल रहा है. That is our main prime focus. So what happened is when we register, we want to see instantly that हाँ मेरा इतना बढ़ गया, ठीक है? But it is not happening for the last 3-4 days. So I would request like.
Mary ma'am, we'll share with you. We'll share with you.
I'll answer that later. There's
How
a
conscious
back
कर रहा है?
processing going on, you'll get the data.
Sanjay ji, leaderboard create करते हैं. Let's create a leaderboard across the organization and let's
नहीं सर
complete it.
वो
Marino को we've given
Internet
access. We've given her access.
नहीं वो actually
I
it
have
takes
the-
long
I have
because
the
we have
access.
to put them into the sale group. That is taking some time. We'll
Yeah.
figure.
I have
वो
the
आपके number
access.
भाई 4 दिन बाद normalize हो जाएगा. It will the numbers will start reflecting.
Okay. So, I mean, thank you for opening that. We can always get back to you.
Yes,
So,
Rajesh, sir, am I audible?
yes.
Yes, you're
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, good evening, house. Good evening, Kirti ma'am, Nandit sir. I'm Kadir Mani, I'm from ISP. So basically, taking the idea from the earlier discussion, as Gaurav has rightly pointed out, that how can we increase its applicability. So taking the idea from that, can the NASSCOM add a module in that which shows us the application that has been done by this AI application and ChatGPT application in various industries. This is the actual application that has been done. It can be related to production, it can be related to HR, marketing, any place. So at least we can go to that module and have an idea, and then it will act as an inspiration. Yes, at least we should go for that course, and we can also implement. And you can take an idea that we can be implemented in our workplace also. So because at last the thing comes to what's in it for me right now.
Yeah.
That's the thing that can be a good, big motivator for us, because the application point is means it is global application. So maybe it can spark any idea for us also. Maybe it has been implemented in Europe, but if it's related to our workplace, so we can also implement it. So that's the basic idea.
This exists.
Definitely,
There is a
definitely.
pathway. There is already a pathway on applications of AI. You can look it up. It's already there. And you'll have
So, ma'am-
applications of cloud, IoT on these different across. So not specifically on steel, but different applications of these technologies.
Means the real life application, real life cases,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Maybe
You can earn
I
a-
will request
you
Sanjay
can
sir.
earn a- you can earn a badge on that pathway. You can finish the pathway and say, now I've got a badge on applications of AI.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be great. Sir, I'm going to get CGM HRD. Sanjay sir, can you please share that particular module? So we will also share that in our groups. Like,
It's
so that will be
already-
more.
Kader, actually आप ना अगर
Sir,
सर्च
वो
करेंगे
मिल जाएगा।
फ्यूचर स्किल प्राइम में जाके applications of AI वो automatically
It's
throw
there
out
in
the
Digital
I
101
want to
also.
share this for everybody because you just searched. It's a very easy search.
Sir, are you talking about Digital 101 or any other?
Even in 101, it
अभी
is
आएगा।
there. It's there in the 101. If you start consuming it, you will see that there is first the technology, then the application of the same technology. So इसका
Okay.
मतलब आपने किया नहीं है अभी मतलब ये
नहीं, मैंने enroll के बारे में।
सर मैं जितना पर रजिस्टर करवाती हूँ
अंजना
उतना
टीचर
को
बन गई
डिजिटल
यहाँ
वन
पे
सर्च करके करवाती हूँ।
Good evening, sir. This is Kanti Lal, sir. I have completed Digital 101 course, sir, and there is application part is there.
Okay, चलिए भाई तुमको प्रूफ मिल गया।
Thank you, बचा दिया.
Okay.
Okay, sir. So
Thank you so much.
considering the paucity of time, we'll move to the next. And now I will request Sri Sanjay sir, CGM HRD, for giving us summary of the proceedings and also update on the R1 initiative that sir initially told, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh. And before I, give a small brief, I'll try to be quick because, as I said, I respect people's time. At the outset, like to thank Kirti and Namit ji for, getting their time and actually opening out and having our back. I mean, with them behind us, we know that, ठीक है, तुम आ जाओ ना क्या चाहिए तुमको, हम दे देंगे. So thank you very much because you've given us that confidence. Just to put it in context, I'd like to share a small presentation, just 1 or 2 slides, because I want to highlight some results of an internal survey that we did with our CGMs and EDs. So just let me share that presentation. So is my presentation visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So sometimes back, we did a survey where, I actually asked all the CGMs and EDs on how important certain aspects of LNDR or, capability development are and how well we are doing, HRD is doing and all that. And one of those elements was digital scaling. And we also look what are the things that we need to, work on, what are the areas that we need to focus on. So we realized something very interesting. You'll realize technologies, digital, this is the word cloud from whatever people gave us. And then you're noticing digital is coming across as very big. That represents larger proportion of people have used this word. I don't need to demonstrate to people or convince people or sell them the idea that digital is important. They are sold. Then they said, okay, critically, how important is this to our organization? So, when you look at this graph, I'm looking at relevance and I'm looking at our performance. In terms of relevance, 70% people said highly relevant. It's 5 on a 5-point scale. And even the remaining is 4. So there are very few people who have said, 3 or 2. There is no one. That's very clear. But how well are we doing? Only 25% said 5. The rest said, okay, good chunk is 4. So there is a gap between, relevance and performance, which essentially says, boss, we are on the right track. But if we keep, at the same pace at which you are, we'll get run over. So the challenge is even if you're on the right track and you're not moving fast enough, you'll get run over. And that is the message that I got for us in terms of capability building. We really need to scale up faster. We need to, build capabilities faster. And that is where this context of, getting mass awareness comes in. And that is where, again, the other data point that I wanted to highlight was that our DP Saab has already mentioned about getting a consultant. We are looking at 1,500 crores value. And we need that basic capability to be able to really engage. I mean, the consultant cannot generate that value for us. We have to generate that value for us. So he can help us, devise strategies and, things like that. So we need a critical mass with digital literacy. That Navneet ji also said. We need a foundation, and then we need some people who can drive projects, and then we need some people who can actually build, cutting edge things for us. So we are a microcosm of the nation. Whatever Kirti ma'am has said about, Kirti said about, the nation, and what Navneet ji said about industry is what is required for state. Because at the end of the day, we are a reflection of the country. And that's why I had requested them, please give us the big picture and let's understand that we are not working in isolation. This is the way the world is going. And this is why there is no choice about it that should we take something else on. No, we have to go this way on. So we have started on this campaign for enrolling everybody on Future Skill Prime. As a starter, we started with the executives, uploaded every one of them. And then we said, no, we need to get everybody on. So we are looking at non-executives also. A lot of them don't have sale.in IDs. So what is happening is we have created an alternate route where they will log in with whatever ID they have, and then we'll get them into the sale group. So Marino, that is the challenge that we're facing now. It takes us some time to do a batch processing of getting them into the sale list. I start getting larger numbers. We'll upload them much faster. You will see your numbers getting reflected. So what you're seeing as 2,500 now is actually more than 3,000. So we are just kind of, updating it, and you will get those numbers. So Marino, your efforts will get shown, and so will the efforts of other people.
Thank you.
So that's one. As I said about the side, we are also trying to create an ecosystem, and thank you, NASSCOM, for that. The ecosystem for supporting all those people is not just the company. It is the whole Future Skill Prime team. We know they have our back. I mean, we can offer the plants that they'll come there. All those that offer stands. They are asking us to work with subject matter experts from other industries so that those cohorts can get working and all that. We are thinking on all those lines. The only thing is, as Navneet said, first baseline is get everybody enrolled so that they know ye kya hai, and as Preeti said, then they'll understand, yeah, isme ye bhi hai, and then they'll start getting, so generate interest, get everybody on board, let them see, seeing is believing. That's why we are focusing on registration right now. Next wave would be getting everybody onboarded onto Digital 101 and start completing Digital 101 and getting certification. We are working on those issues also. And then with that large base, we'll start filtering out and working out on the more deeper technologies and cohorts, working on specific technologies, as Navneet said. And as I said, there are resource persons who have been identified. Okay, all of those are here right now. So it's a collective effort that we would all like to first get everybody on board. So we started this campaign for registration called Arohan. Just last week, we had this discussion with all our key stakeholders, the key drivers, heads of training, heads of personnel, the training engineers, the shop personnel executives. Because as let me publicly acknowledge the insights from Chandranath, who is actually the firebrand engine on this process of Future Skill Prime. That any implementation needs a long arm and short fingers, because ultimately the customized thing has to be done through fingers. So we are trying to get everybody involved in and engaged into the process of onboarding everybody. And we need everybody's help. We need the short fingers. We need the long arm. And why we are getting all the, I'm making this appeal in this forum to all the CGMs and EDs, because at the end of the day, your diktat goes. You decide your people will get digitally literate, they will get digitally literate. You decide they will get registered, they will get registered. And whatever facilitation is required, whatever help is required from the HR fraternity will be provided. Whatever help is required from NASSCOM, again, thank you, NASSCOM, once again for all the support. The Future Skill Prime team is there for us. We know. So we can go beyond the organization, but we have to take those first steps of engaging. That's very important. So we seek your support. We seek your help in making SAIL the benchmark for digital skilling, not just for the public sector, but for the nation. Because as I said, all nation builders think alike. So whatever ideas Kirti and Navneet has said, we have discussed those ideas earlier also, that this is how we plan to go. This is what charges us up. And we are looking forward to actually getting everybody involved. We have done this kind of exercise earlier also during the vision exercise. We want everybody onboarded, and then we'll start running with the Digital 101 and the specialized programs. And Kirti and Navneet ji, I promise you, within this year, we will have something that you can proudly share, not just in India, you can share it even outside India.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to that kind of stuff. So once again, I'd like to
we are planning to make SAIL our showpiece. So we show off about you all everywhere.
It'll be a pleasure and honor, and thank you all for being here, giving your time. And as I said, I just need only one mentana. By the end of this month, I need all my executives registered, onboarded, and practically all my literate non-executives. So I've just given 50% because I assume there are some people who are not very literate and all that. But all my literate non-executives also onboarded onto the system. And for that, I will need the help of all the CGNs and all the EDs, because at the end of the day, it is your productivity we are trying to facilitate. It is your productivity that we are trying to drive. And we are all in it together, building a great company, building a great industry, and building a great nation. So thank you very much for your time. And I'd like to hand it over back to Rajesh, and I think we can close it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So with those words, we would like to once again thank you, Kirti ma'am and Navneet sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rajesh. Thank you very much, Sanjay ji.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Anjana, also for all the support. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh ji.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you,
Navneet sir.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
everyone.
Today.
Yes, sir.
And the recording will again be available on the eWikyan. The link we already know. I've also shared on the chat box. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.